Aloha, everyone. Welcome to Java. This is for Tuesday, September 5th, 2023. And I've got the MMRI up as always, but it is risen rapidly. So we're at just below 275 right now. And looking at the elements of this below, the benchmark is the 10-year yield. Watching that rise, it's at 4.227 right now, quickly approaching the 4.3 that the market really does not like. So we are at a high here, high risk level. We are watching the dollar as well increase, and the market doesn't like that is either. So as a result, we're watching stocks and futures kind of weak. This is pre-market. We've got a while before the market's even open, but we can see the effect that they're having. So as we were talking about yesterday, this is very likely to be a very highly volatile week. So even though we're not expecting a lot of news, we are getting Fed president speaking on Thursday, and we're watching some pressure come in for even oil. So I do expect it to recover, but we're watching everything kind of have that pressure, silver, gold. And the VIX, the volatility index, is increasing. So as we said yesterday, also September, October, typically historically rough months for stocks and the trades. So urging caution today if you're trading. I am on the sidelines. There is nothing wrong with sitting on your hands until you see that the market gives a clear direction. So, unless you want to fight the trend or you're very brave about this, this is not financial advice, but I will say that sitting on your hands is a fine thing to do. So, let's go on to a couple of the stories. And it is very quiet today. So, not an awful lot of news floating out in the mainstream media. But we did see Goldman Sachs is cutting their recession odds to just 15%. So, and they're also saying that a Fed hike for September is off the table. They don't think the Federal Reserve is going to hike. I have a different opinion. I still think that they will do the quarter point as their final hike for this year, if not for some times for the foreseeable future. But I think they can't shock the market, and the risk for a hyperinflation if they don't do what they said they were going to is too high. So that's my reasoning. So at any rate, going on with the United Auto Workers, they've still got a strike looming, highly likely. Their contract ends September 14th. So this hits both with the economy, but then also with labor. So that'll be interesting to see how that one ends. I think they're going to negotiate a deal, but at this time, with cars going down in production and the demand is dropping, Tesla's dropping their prices, and repossessions are up tremendously. So pricing for the auto industry is already hitting that kind of towards recessionary phase. Stories about the banks. So this one struck me as that the news is oddly quiet. So we got this one story from Reuters saying analysis is that they hold 3.3 trillion in cash. So this is supposed to kind of bolster sentiment and instill a little bit more confidence in the banking system, which I really don't have much. And then we've got the truth. And I thought it was ironic that they both use Bank of America. The Bank of America branches are starting to disappear because they're closing the branch stores. There was another story floated out that there won't be a need for as many branch banks because artificial intelligence is closing some of the needs for that. And I disagree because I think the internet in general closed a lot of the need for branch banks, and yet they're still there for the person to person. The truth is that they're closing branch banks because they're part of the commercial real estate system that is basically tanking right now. So, watching that, the commercial real estate loans as well are kind of silently coming due, but you're not seeing this news in mainstream media, and I think it's because they're trying to keep it quiet. So in the European Union, they actually came out and said that they don't have an alternative to Russian gas. So they're going to be subject to paying whatever price Russia demands for their gas and oil for this winter until they figure it out. So electricity has to run on something, and the electric vehicles is not a solution at this time. So we've also got this story, which is not being reported in the West. Huawei has just launched a new cloud data center in Saudi capital Riyadh. So this is important on two fronts. Number one, they're strengthening their trade ties between China and Saudi. We know that this is already happening. They are also trading in their native currencies. And the third reason that this is really important is because this bolsters Huawei is the largest rollout of 5G China, and they had launched this campaign before the US and Canada kind of dampened it with sanctions. So their cloud data center, the largest amount of data they're collecting is personal data, and it's via this 5G system. So I think this is something to watch for a couple of reasons. So keep you up on that one. As far as trade, we've got a few things that have happened. Turkey is trying to recover. They just had their major inflationary event. So they are talking about native currency trade with Russia to kind of bolster for that side. But they are also talking about doing a few more trades outside of this to try and recover. But basically, all in a move to de-dollarize. We've got Brazil is ramping up their purchases of this is over nickel. So Brazil trading in nickel and native currencies with Russia. And then on the opposite side of this, South Africa has just, of course, they're in the BRICS nations. And now this story is about the European Union. Since Xi and Putin will not be showing up, they're trying to talk to Ramaphosa from South Africa and build ties that way while they're gone. So South Africa is rich in resources, and we're watching this kind of revolution come up, little bit of an area at a time between Niger, Gabon, and others are looking at joining. So that'll be something interesting I'm keeping my eye on. So I want to know what you think of all of this. If you have opinions between which direction you think South Africa will take, leave it in the comments. Anything else in here that you would like to hear, please let me know your opinion. And if you wouldn't mind and you like the content, please hit the like. I really appreciate that. So for my lava update, and you probably did hear about this one. So North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is going to Russia to meet Vladimir Putin. And they're talking about a couple of things. One is that they're talking about advancing an arms deal to where North Korea will be trading basically arms in return for Russia putting satellites for North Korea in space. And one of the major frontiers that they don't talk about for the war, but besides the currency war that we all know is going on, prior to the physical war, is the war for space, because that includes access to these satellites, information, and everything else that is going on. So we're going to keep you up to date on this stuff. And I wish you all a wonderful green trading day if you will be trading today. Just a wonderful day in general. It's going to be a bit of a nervous day in the markets and very volatile. So until I see you again, my friends, stay free.